example of that.
Yeah, Rob, just
Does
wait
that
a
make
minute.
any sense?
So your end of your booth there, is that Staten or Tyler or what or Dead Horse Island?
Dead Horse.
It's Dead Horse.
Right.
Okay.
Which is
Privately owned.
Is privately owned.
Yeah.
So
But Staten, the state owns a good portion of Staten, does it not?
TNC does.
TNC.
All of it now?
Right.
Yeah.
Not state.
TNC.
Yeah.
Yeah, state money.
Right.
State put $32 million
If you
in,
want
I
to talk,
think,
you
yeah.
got to come to the table.
Yeah, but she just specified the state put money in, somebody else owns it. But
So, yeah, go on.
but so that the blue shows it being basically water all the time. Is that what that represents?
Over time, as sea level rises, yeah.
Because the lower part of the McCormick-Williamson Tract is subsided today, below sea level.
Right. But that extends into Dead Horse Island, not
Yeah.
Staten. But
Right.
show, I mean, again, recognize that's 2100. You show up there, I guess, on
Or 2050.
2050,
that one.
2050. Yeah.
This is just conceptual.
I know that. I'm
But
just
you
trying
can
to some
see-
sense of geography. I mean, I'm familiar with the area.
Right.
So.
And the idea being that what we're going to want to restore is patterns like this, because then in 2100, as that open water area gets bigger, is extending from the central delta, I mean, depending on which islands are maintained or not and fail, you have room for the marsh to move upstream. So your habitat has resilience. Your system has the ability to adapt over time. It's also connected to a sediment supply of the river. So I think what we're trying to do here is create those ideas, those concepts, pretty grounded to specific or to general areas of the delta. Obviously, there is a lot of work to be done to figure out what you would actually do, but this is the first step to kind of get that framework.
Can we just wonder a question? So Staten doesn't figure into this picture though. Is it separated? Is it different?
We didn't consider Staten as much. I mean, it is. I mean, what do you want to say about Staten?
Well, I think the opportunity there, it only makes the McCormick-Williamson Tract more important in the sense that there may be some opportunities to connect up all the way down into the central delta.
Okay.
But I think
but
it totally
you're-
depends on what's decided for the future of that island.
Right. I recognize that.
But there are more possibilities there than
Well,
there
same
would
thing with
be
Dead Horse.
elsewhere.
That's owned by the Wilson family. So.
Right. So, all of these pieces start to make a puzzle that can actually have more functions, more connectivity.
Your landscape vision starts with the question, how large is large? Is McCormick-Williamson large?
I think we're suggesting in and of itself it's not.
But
Right? If it was connected to other pieces,
because it
becomes-
is potentially connected to other pieces, it might eventually become large, if I
Yeah,
understand your...
exactly. Large and interconnected and resilient, adaptive.
Okay, Randy?
We have a responsibility to establish performance measures for any projects that are implemented in the Delta. We know inherently, or we think we know inherently from history, that change such as you're projecting here would be a benefit to the ecosystem in the Delta. To adaptively manage that, we have to monitor it. What do we monitor?
Well, you're going to monitor, there's a lot of obvious things you're going to monitor, like fish. You're going to do your biology, you're going to do your chemistry, you're going to do your acres of X, Y, and Z, right? A lot of those things are sort of largely set in place or have been fleshed out to some extent. I think what we're suggesting here is that there's another type of monitoring that would be at the landscape scale that would be, do you have a connected system? And we would say what pieces should be connected. What would be the mix that you'd want to see? Do you have the right linkage, upslope? Do you have your open water to your tidal marsh, to your freshwater marsh, to your upland? Because that's going to do all of these things for the system. And so that's one thing we're doing in this next project, is to try to develop those metrics. So we're doing a lot of analysis of the past and present at those scales, at these different scales, to try to come up with numerical ways to evaluate, compare those systems. So that it'd be nice if you had a way you could compare these two projects and have somebody get credit for designing something that actually fits into a larger framework. So I'm hopeful that we, with our team of local and national scientists, will help you. We'll come up with some numbers and metrics that you might be able to use.
Do you have effective models that you could test these theories and determine, does this really, for example, produce a greater abundance of food supply for the species that we're concerned about?
Well, that's where kind of we link. I think what we're doing, there's sort of I don't know what scale BDCP is at, is sort of big picture. And then what we're doing, I think, is more detailed and kind of place specific and functions. And then we have to link what we're doing to the modeling efforts that go ahead and to all the field work that's going on. So, for example, some of the analyses going on of existing remnant tidal channels are helping inform our interpretation of what those could do. Similarly, I think we will suggest scenarios like this, and those will provide guidance to the hydrodynamics folks doing modeling to see, okay, generally that seems plausible at the conceptual level, but now you need to actually model it and see what's doable. So there's a back and forth, and that's something
Yeah.
Lauren